Okay, so welcome to the presentation. This is all about the research and development in mine water heat. And I'm the Principal R&D Manager at Mine Water Heat at the Mining Remediation Authority. And just for those that didn't join in, there was two previous webinars this week by Gareth and Joanne on mine water heat opportunities and mine water heat licensing. If you did miss them, then recordings will be available, so you can listen back to them. So the outline of the webinar, I'll give a bit of introduction to the Mining Remediation Authority and also to our R&D. And then I'll go through kind of R&D priorities, some internal R&D that we do and external R&D that we support, and then also future R&D that we've got planned. So for those that haven't attended the previous webinars, a little bit of an introduction. So we're the Mining Remediation Authority. We're formerly known as the Coal Authority until last November, and really the name change is reflecting a bit better what we do now. We're a non-departmental government body, and we were created by the 1994 Coal Act, and we own and manage all the coal mines, all the coal mines in the UK. And so, as you imagine, that covers quite a lot of the UK. And it's estimated about 25% of the population live in a coal field, so there's real opportunity for mine water heat here. Now, I do want to apologise for the slide because there's quite a lot of words on it, but I thought all of them were important to keep in. So what you could do if you want to read this more fully, there's our Mine Water Heat Opportunities Framework. So you can follow the link here or just type it into Google and it should come up. But really, R&D at the Mining Remediation Authority, we're really keen because we know that it creates opportunities for financial, social and environmental value, and that's to minimise the cost to the taxpayer, reduce waste and support the circular economy. And also it contributes to our ambition to be net zero by 2030. And mine water heat is our most exciting opportunity to help with that. So we want to continue to liaise with international projects and share mutual learnings and use these to inform best practice. And it's not just mine heat, so we also know that cooling and storage of heat might also be important. So that's also in our opportunities framework. So there we go, more specifically about mine water heat R&D. So again, we recognise the value of undertaking a wide range of R&D to help maximise the potential of mine water heat. So we design and deliver our own research and development, and we also support researchers and academics and also non-academics who are studying mine water heat. And what we want to do really is use this data to develop data to support evidence-based decision making. Going on to our key themes, which again you can find in our opportunities framework and also in our business plan. What we want to do is understand the interactions between mine water heat schemes. So this is the thermal and hydraulic connections and how they could impact. And we want to use this, as I said, for evidence-based decision making. And really the whole purpose is to drive a wider uptake of mine water heat networks. We know that we hold a unique knowledge, assets and data, but we recognise we don't have all the skills to maximise this opportunity. So we want to build on our partnerships to develop new collaborative relationships. Okay, so going on to some of the interesting R&D projects that we've been doing recently. If anyone's been watching me on Twitter, sorry, not Twitter, I'm not on Twitter anymore. Anyone's been watching me on LinkedIn, you'll know that we've recently launched our Mine Water Heat Living Lab. So this is a flagship part of our R&D programme. And what we want to identify is the thermal and hydraulic interactions between operational mine heat schemes to allow us to help develop them further. And we had one of the cool things about this is it's the first time we're providing open access data. So this data is now available on this webpage here. If you type in Gateshead Mine Water Heat Living Lab, you'll get it. And this was launched in January, so it's quite exciting for us. And I just wanted to say this, the data generated at our Living Lab will complement research at the Mine Energy Observatory. This was developed by the BGS and it's part of a kind of geo-observatory project where there's facilities for research and innovation. So if you've not heard about that before, have a look there. And now we've got a video to explain a bit about the Gateshead Mine Water Heat Living Lab. So I do hope this works. When we were testing it, it did come up automatically muted. So if the sound doesn't come, then just check the mute settings when you do it. But here goes. Great, so hopefully that video worked for everyone and gave you a bit of a taster about what we're doing at Living Lab. So as I said, it's in Gateshead, which is, for those not in the UK, it's near Newcastle, the northeast of England. And it's situated, we've got 2 sites in our Living Lab, and they're situated between operational heat schemes in there. And this is a bit of a conceptualization of what you can see. So there's heat schemes owned by Lanchester Wines and managed by Town Rock Energy. And there's also ones organised and managed by Gateshead Energy Company. And we've really looked at developing boreholes in the middle of these. And what you notice here is there's deep and shallow mine aquifers. So there's 2 different positions. So at each site, we've got a deep and a shallow borehole. And really that's to look at the interactions around everything. So where this looks like in real life, well, you can see we've got 2 sites here. Clearly, obviously, the stadium is near Gateshead Stadium, and the Bede is near a school called Bede School. And then just off to the right and left, there's just the heat schemes. But what does this look like? Well, we make it sound quite interesting, but really they're just manhole covers. But what they are, these are telescopes into the ground to see what's happening in there. We can't physically go down into the mines ourselves anymore, but this is really looking at what we've got underground. I'm not going to go into much detail about the construction of this because this is already in the user guide that we've provided. But as you can see, we've got 4 different boreholes at different depths at the different sites. And there's some slightly different construction because we developed our drilling as we went between the sites. So what instrumentation have we got then? This is the cool bit. Well, all the boreholes have got level, temperature and conductivity loggers installed inside them. And the deeper mine aquifer boreholes, so these are the ones that are further down, they have also got fibre optic cable, thermistors which measure temperature, and vibrating wire piezometers. And they're cemented in outside the casing, and they were installed as we drilled. So what does this look like? Well, as you can see, so this is the casing going down, and we strapped our sensors on. So this is our thermistor going on here, VWP and thermistor is on here, and they were strapped on as we were drilling on the outside. And what you can see here, you can see that's it. That's the blue casing there that we can access through, and then we've got our fibre optic cable here. So this is inside the manhole chamber, and then this is the loggers that we put inside the blue casing to collect the data. And I would say these are the most highly instrumented boreholes that the Mining Remediation Authority have done. So it's really exciting for us. So the data, as I said, the existing Living Lab data we've got is water level, temperature, conductivity. So you can already see this on our pages. And what we've got in the future, we've got geophysical surveys. So this was actually completed a few weeks ago. We've not managed to get the data up yet, but I've got a couple of bits in the centre. We're going to be doing a round of chemistry sampling, microbiology, headspace gas. So there's lots of exciting things coming on. So keep an eye out on these pages if you're interested in the data. I wanted to do a little bit about the data just to kind of show you what we can see. So what we're seeing here is the water level data for the deep aquifer in green and the shallow aquifer in orange. And I'm actually writing a publication on this, so hopefully I can provide a bit more context. But you can see we're really, when one of the operational schemes is injecting water into this deeper aquifer, we're really seeing these changes in water level, which is great, so we can see the interactions. Again, these are the temperatures. The deeper one is warmer than the shallower one. There's potentially maybe a change here you can see. We need to obviously do further research to see if that slight increase is relevant. And then we've got we've got our conductivity as well. And again, the deeper one's more higher conductivity than the shallow aquifer. And I just wanted to go through temperature gradient because this is data that we've got recently. And throughout the UK, the groundwater temperature increases with depth, and generally it's about every kilometre would increase by about 27 degrees. This can be a bit higher over coalfields, especially the North East coalfield, which on a paper that was written in 2020, it would be about 34 degrees per kilometre. So if you plot this up, the 34 degrees per kilometre is there. So this is temperature and this is depth. And actually the data that we've already got from our Living Lab indicates that this is much higher than this, so almost 60 degrees per kilometre. And this is really important because this higher heat flow could equal a greater potential of mine water heat resources. So this is some of the initial findings that we're getting out, and again, it will all be published. So as I said, we did some geophysics surveys. So we did our usual camera survey. And we also did, quite excitingly for us, is the first time the coal authorities, the Mining and Remediation Authority has done this. is we did a borehole magnetic resonance survey. And it's essentially just a giant battery that we put down into the boreholes. And it gives us information about the volume and fluid and rock. So we're excited to see those results. And I wanted to just show these. So this is some of the camera survey results. On the left here, we've got from one of the shallower boreholes, and you can see the workings here. And these have probably not been accessed since the 1930s. So it's really exciting that we're getting to see them. And this again is into the deeper aquifer. And I was looking at the depth of this, and it's about 132 meters, which is the same height as the Great Pyramid of Giza. Or if you want to use my son's current favourite unit of measurement, it's about 26 giraffes deep, which is quite deep, I would say. So that's our living lab, but we've also got some exciting other things we've been doing. We've been developing our map viewer, and this is really, really exciting. We've got a mine water heat tab on here, and it's got all sorts of interesting data for mine heat that's in there. So I would really have a look at that if you haven't already. Some of this equilibrium and pump temperature data from Gard's paper is on there, and we're going to be developing this in the future. Another project we did, we've recently received funding from the Government Office for Technology Transfer, and this was to undertake a feasibility study into making our data more accessible to help develop mine water heat. And what we did, we undertook at this, we did an internal and an external stakeholder review, and the outcomes were 3 options that we came up with to try and develop our mine water heat data, and that's really, we're taking that through currently and looking at how we can develop that. This is one of the answers. So the bigger words is the higher response. So these are what people's top 3 requirements were. And what we really were seeing from this is that the actual data, the physical data, is the most important thing people are looking at alongside mine plans. We also did some work with the Ordnance Survey in collaboration. And this was supported by DESNES and the Geospatial Commission. And what it showed was, it was like a mapping exercise. The initial results showed there are just over 6 million homes and 300,000 offices and businesses above abandoned coal mines. So although it's a bit early to say exactly how many of these could ultimately benefit, by hoping to share this information, we're hoping to open up the conversations with local authorities and developers to decarbonise heat supply. So this was a really interesting project, and all this data can be found on the mine water heat tab of the viewer, as I said. So that's all the cool projects we're doing internally, but we also do external research support. So we support researchers and academics throughout the country, and if a project aligns with our vision for mine water heat, we can supply a letter of support for funding proposals. And we can also supply data and information via our data solutions team. We can, where appropriate and safe to do so, provide access to sites for monitoring and data collection, but you'd have to obviously come to us to discuss. But I would say that, we do need a lot of notice for our letters of support, so really get them in as early as you can to get that process started. And I just put on here some projects that we're supporting with researchers and academics. We're involved in a range of projects, of the big ones, and also a number of PhD and MSc projects. So if you've got anything interesting going on, please come to us and we can help you. We also, it's not just academics, so we also want to provide support to private and public organisations. We recognise the importance of working with these organisations to better inform our work and widen our impact. And I would say that this is a little plug here for our fortnightly heat cafes. We have these on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock and every other week. And they're a really great forum to come and discuss all things mine water heat. So if you've got an idea or a research or a product and you want to come and talk to us about it and get some feedback, then this is a really great forum. Just give us an email here. So in terms of the future plans then, we're currently developing a mine water heat research and development strategy. And this will include a roadmap for how we're going to develop the living lab. So this will be things like open access papers, data management plan, and really it will help us develop how we're going to go forward with that. We also want to refine our key research areas for collaboration, because I think that's important, because we want to give a bit of direction to researchers who are interested in this subject and try and work collaboratively. We're also doing ongoing development of permissions processes, and this is to try and help research on our property while maintaining our core value of protecting the public. So this is a really interesting thing we're doing just now with the mine heat licensing team, which I think Joanne maybe spoke about yesterday. So really, the key takeaways that I wanted to go through here with you today is that really, we recognise the value of undertaking a wide range of research and development. We undertake internal research and development, but we also collaborate externally. Our mine water heat strategy, R&D strategy, is in development. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to publish some of these things later. And we're working with the mine heat licensing team to streamline R&D projects. So then just a few useful resources, which I thought might be of interest. So as I said, our mine water heat opportunities framework, this really outlines what we want to do with mine water heat, and it's really good if you're trying to write letters of support. This is the kind of information we would need. You know, linking to that would be great. Our Mine Remediation Authority map viewer is there, and also the link to the open access data from the Living Lab is also on there. And again, that will be updated as we get more data. We've also got a YouTube playlist, which there's some cool videos on there. So the video that I showed earlier is on there, and there's also some other cool videos on there. So if you have a look, if you've got some time. And then finally, I just wanted to, I think Gareth also plugged this, but I just wanted to give a little plug to the Mine Energy Symposium, which is happening later this year. So it's in May. It's a free online symposium, and we're expecting to get a really great range of talks. So if you do want to present, the abstract deadline is the end of February, 4 o'clock on the 28th. And then, yeah, I would really encourage coming along. You can actually hear previous recordings from the symposium on their website. So yeah, it's a really great resource. And yeah, that's the end. So thank you very much for listening.